fine. Oh, wow. You're actually going to use the webcam?
I'm not supposed to.
No, you can. You're the
I
only
talk
one
a
too, but
lot with my
sure.
hands, especially for someone who's supposed to be doing voices. So,
Yeah. Also, your mic is amazing.
oh, thank you. It's actually just the outside is really big, but the mic's normal.
It's still
You can
much better than mine. So, hey.
Yeah, but I'm a hand talker for sure. So hi
Okay.
everybody. I'm gonna try to not move too much, but
Yeah, I mean, you have an extra 3 minutes. You're welcome to start and just go for it. So, why not?
oh, sure,
If you
whatever.
want to. I mean, you can wait if you want.
I mean, I assume people need a break. And does anyone have to like just go to the bathroom or get a snack or something? Just
They'll live.
checking.
They'll live.
All right.
We can't account for everyone, so
all right, just making sure everyone makes the most of their break because I don't want to make things weird for people. Cool. Checking.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
So your talk, I wanted to make a full length one, but you have your 5 minutes.
Okay.
10 minutes.
I'll go fast. I don't have a lot to say. It's great.
Cool.
So hi everyone. I'm Ayu, and that's my Twitter handle there. If I say it twice, I'm gonna get a bingo, but I don't think it counts if I do it, so I won't. But I make a lot of visual novels. I work for Sake Visual. My first was released in like 2009. But since I'm talking about voice acting, let me give you a quick rundown of what I do voice-wise. I have cast and directed all of my own games, including Ripples, the GC series, Backstage Pass. Also done a bunch of games for other people, like for Winter Wolves. I did Lauren, Seasons of the Wolf Planet Stronghold. I'm running Caramel Mochaccino's casting right now. Errant Heart, which I don't know if you remember. And outside of visual novels, I occasionally work at Funimation. So I directed Assassination Classroom, Disastrous Life of Psyche K, blah, blah, blah. You can read. And most recently, I was assistant director on Code Realize. I also occasionally do voice work for anyone who cares about visual novel or anime adaptations of visual novels. I voiced Airi in Robotics Notes, Hinako in Kenkabancho Otome, and the one that everyone actually cares about, I did voice Sissy the Corgi in Code Realize. That's the dog that doesn't die, in case you were wondering. So that's a thing. Cool. So that's the boring part out of the way. Let's actually talk about voices. Raise your hand if you want to put voices in your visual novel, or I don't know, raise it digitally or something.
I'll raise it for everyone.
Yes. All right. Excellent. Then this is going to be a useful talk. Before you get voices, finish your script. This is one of the big mistakes that I see people make is they try to cast on the front end back when they're still working on the game. Nothing will slow down progress and bloat your budget faster than trying to put voices in before your script is absolutely finalized. So before you do anything, make sure the rest of your game is done. Please, this is for your sake. Now find a director. You'll find, especially if you've been online a while, you may find that there are groups online or people offering, hey, I know voice actors, or I run a studio and I can direct your game. And that's perfectly fine. You can also have someone on your team act as a director. But in general, what you need is someone who knows the entire story and the scope of what's going on, who can communicate this to the actors. Because without context, without knowing what else is happening, actors are bound to make interesting choices that don't necessarily match up with what other actors are saying. A scene where two characters are arguing, one may be very soft and controlled angry, and the other could be screaming, and that might not be what you want. You might want both of them to be screaming at each other, or both of them to be very cold and withdrawn, and it is the director's job to make sure that both of the actors are on the same page and know that. Now, prepping auditions. I have seen some people casting by simply saying, hey, email me a voice sample or your demo reel, and I'll just listen to all of them and pick out the ones who sound like the characters in my head. Don't do that. You definitely want to hold auditions because for the most part, a working actor's demo reel is only a collection of jobs that they've already had, which means that they may have a voice or an accent or something interesting not in their demo reel just because they haven't booked a job with that voice yet. So the best thing to do is to hold auditions, and I'm going to post a sample audition here. So this is an audition for a character from my Jisei series, Chance, and what you want is a quick breakdown. A picture helps a lot. A little quick bio of them. What you want mostly is things about their personality. Backstory is nice, but not actually super useful. You can also post character types like she reminds me of so-and-so from this series or a different one. And then the type of voice you're looking for. Is it high-pitched? Is there an accent? Excuse me, like how old is she? And then a couple of lines that the actor can read for you for the audition. You want to put a little context in there. For instance, casual instead of scared, or annoyed because, you know, the main character in this case is trying to change the subject, whereas without the context of annoyed, people might not necessarily know what they're looking for. So you post that online, or you hire a director or some studio online to do it for you. Listen to all the auditions, and there will be so many. And then pick who you want, at which point this is where you have to actually get the script going. So let's see if I can actually open. I have a sample script prepared, and let's see if it will show it. How do I change windows? Which window is being shown?
You probably have to change the drop down and
There
tell it
we
to share
go.
that thing.
Yay! Okay, so this is a REMPI output, but honestly, you don't have to format it exactly like this. The most important things you're gonna need out of your script are the character name, the actual line, and then a line number. The line number is super, super important, so make sure you include that in your script. If you've ever done stage or television, the screenplays and scripts don't have line numbers on them. When you want to do games or animation, definitely include that because things are going to change while you're recording. For example, as I'm recording, I might notice, oh my goodness, I spelled bothering wrong. It says borthering. Well, let me just fix it right here in the script. Cool, except how am I going to fix it in the game? I mark it, this is the best part, as that, and later on I know exactly that line 34 is something I'm going to have to go and fix in the code. Or let's say I'm recording, and the best way to record and make sure that you've got everything taken care of is to mark things with colors as you go. So let's say you record the first line, that's done. You record the next line for the character, that's done, very exciting. And then it turns out that whatever actress you hired is really having trouble saying this line. I don't know why. Maybe it's her accent. Maybe you wrote it poorly. Either way, we're going to change it to something else. How did it go? Instead, maybe what happened? Now you have a brand new line. You're going to have to make sure to mark that one as well so that you can change it in the code later. And that's why you're going to want to know that that's line 17, and that's what needs to be fixed. All right, switch back to this one. Yay! Okay, the question that everyone has about this is how much is it going to cost me? And unfortunately, the answer is I am going to give you a number. And remember, please note the dates while I give you this number. And I know that even now, when I give you this number, there will be people who will be very mad at me because I'm lowballing. And there'll be people very mad at me because I'm quoting something way too high. But when it comes to indie games, I have noticed the average is somewhere between $2 to $3 per line, or anywhere between $100 and $250 per hour. So what's the difference between paying per line or paying per hour? Both are pretty straightforward. You know, pay per line is just here's a script. There are 7 lines. If I'm paying you $2 per line, you get $14. Yay. Pay per hour is what most actors are more comfortable with, and is actually kind of a better deal for you in the long run because it allows you time to fine tune your work. So let's say, hey, an actor comes in and they record for an hour, they do a line, you don't like it, you have them do it again, you have them do it again, you have them do it again. Until maybe the 5th or 6th go, that's the exact way you want to hear that line, it's perfect, they get paid for all the time they spent working on it. If you pay per line, you're gonna have to pay for that again if you want them to redo it. So it's better to have it in that time, and it's easier on actors because then they can actually book out how much time and know when they have to be there for you. Actors are notoriously flighty, so they need to know ahead of time how much time they're gonna be spending working on this. A lot of games have things called an hourly minimum, or actors will explain to you that's their minimum when they say their rate. And generally, you pay the amount of hours they spend with you, but you round up. So if you only go 30 minutes, you still pay for a whole hour. If you go an hour and 10 minutes, it does usually get rounded up to 2. Most actors these days also round to a half hour instead. But when they explain to you like what their rate is, that's the jargon and that's what that means. All right, how am I on time? Cool. All right, so I got a couple more minutes for questions if anyone has any. Thank you for listening, and sort of as a thanks for coming by, the auditions that I just showed you for Chance, if you actually want to hear how the final version turned out, you can get a copy of GSay at our site for free using the code. It'll be up till the end of the day, so grab it soon. All right, let's
Awesome.
for questions. What mic do I recommend for voice actors? The one I'm using right now is a Bluebird. The brand like Blue, you see people use like a Yeti or like Snowball that's super popular for podcasters, is a really good place to start if you want something that sounds nice but is not super expensive. Let's see. Have you used or do you recommend using Casting Call Club? Normally, and actually that touches on a really important thing, no matter which director you use, no matter what you do, the online voice acting community is really tightly knit. Like, you're gonna get essentially the same pool of people. We share auditions with each other all the time. And so what you're looking for is either a director that you can really trust if you want to hire out a studio, or to do it in-house, you can actually post auditions on your blog, on your site. Casting Call Club is a little hard for some people to navigate, and because it is pay to play in some places, you might find some voice actors don't use it that often. Voiceactingclub.com is free, and I think a lot of people actually check there. Let's see. Oh, and then I answered the question right afterwards. Where's a good place to find a variety of voice actors? Yeah, voiceactingclub.com is probably the most popular, but you'll find that if you share it once, voice actors will find it and share it with each other. How does one get into doing voice acting? Well, you go to voiceactingclub.com and you look at all the auditions and you record and you email them in. Where should we look when looking for talent? These days, it really kind of is the internet. Back in the day, oh man, people used to recommend even like going to your local schools or whatever and, checking the drama programs out and seeing if anyone there was interested. It's still not a bad idea if you want to make sure all your talent is local, but right now there's so many people available online and so interconnected with each other that as long as a handful of them find out, the word will spread to everybody else.
All right, last question.
Last question. What are your opinions on non-professional voice actors? The difference is they don't get paid money.
Well, it is
true.
Difference between a pro and an amateur.
Yeah. Right. And there's one more because someone's talking about 18+ work. A lot of people are very comfortable with it as long as you're upfront with the fact that it is. And some people want a breakdown of what exactly is the nature of it. Like, is it 18+ because of the violence, or because, the sexual content, or is it a very specific type of sexual content that some people might be uncomfortable with? As long as you're really upfront about what the content is, you will find people who are interested.
All right, that's the time we have because I have to pass it on to Tootie.
Thank you.
But yeah, continue this on. Thank you very much. There's a lot of questions everyone has. All right, Tootie, you're up. Your webcam will still be up when I pass it to him, so you might want to turn that off. Unless you want to grace his presentation.
All right, we showing up. Is it good?
Yep.
All right, looks like we are good.
Sake is still on there.
Now paused.
There we go.